To be honest, I was just thinking about calling it a night because your boy's tired. But then it hit me out of nowhere. This may be an absolutely crazy hot take, but I'm not sure. If Avatar had an open world game, I promise you it will wipe out a lot of the other games that are out right now. And I'm not talking about no basic open world. I'm talking about like Hogwarts Legacy type of open world. Like literally, imagine this. You create a character, no matter what type of character it may be. And on top of that, you can choose whether or not if you want to be a bender or not. For the non-bending option, you can choose between a martial artist or a weapon specialist. And hook blades and swords are items that you could equip if you pick them up in the store or whatever. And when you pick up these weapons, they change your fighting style. And for mixed martial arts as a non-bender, right? Like there's a literal skill tree for different fight combos and acrobatics. And the highest level is like a chi blocker slash acrobat like Ty Lee. And chi blocking. Tell me that's not tough. Oh yeah, peep this. And right after you create a character, right? That's when the map of the 4 nations pop up in the menu. And you can choose which nation you want to go to. And the setting will take place after Aang defeated the Fire Lord. So let's say you want to start your character off in the Earth Kingdom. And you have 2 places to start out in the Earth Kingdom. Omashu and Kyoshi Island. Not Ba Sing Se yet. Let me cook. Hold on. And if you want to start out in the Water Tribes, of course you can pick the North and Southern Water Tribe. And if you want to start out in the Fire Nation, you would start out on the Fire Nation mainland, aka near where Kuzan's school was, and the glorious Wang Fire and his tribute. And if you want to start out in the Air Nomad temples, you would either be in the Northern Temple or the Eastern Temple. But peep this up, hear me out, alright? So depending on whether or not you choose to be a non-bender or bender, depends on what type of mentor you get and which 2 locations you can go to. And that's why you had 2 options for each nation, well, except for the Fire Nation. And I'm not done. Oh, and depending on what mentor you have and what nation that you came from will depend on your loading screen that you would get whenever you fast travel. Because I do miss the good old days of the loading screen. And depending on where you're traveling to and who you're traveling with, depends on what the loading screen will look like. So let's say you're part of the Fire Nation and you're traveling somewhere across the map. This will be the loading screen, aka Zuko's ship. And we would see the ship moving in a constant like loop. But guess what? The whole time, this is the song that's playing. Or this song as well. If you pick to be a part of the Air Nation, Appa would be the loading screen while this song is playing. Or this song. If you chose the War Tribe, this will be the loading screen, of course the full moon, and this will be the music. And also for the War Tribe, they will also have this song as well. Also that depends on like, where you're going, aka like certain unlockable locations, like the swamp, the library, and so on based off of the missions, but I haven't got there yet, so stick with me. For Earth Kingdom, this will be their loading screen or the Serpent's Pass. And this will be the load music. And also, this will be the other music that be playing during the loading screen. Okay, let's back up for a moment. Depending on which 4 nation your characters start out from, you will always have the same merchant depending on where you start out from. And no matter what location you go to, you'll have that same merchant. So if you start off in the Fire Nation, right? This guy Shu will be the merchant selling you weapons, equipment, and things like that. For the Earth Kingdom, of course it's going to be the Cabbage Man. For the Air Nomads, it's going to be the Scientist. Your tribe is Grand Paku. Also, all throughout the map, there will be different Iroh tea shops. And these tea shops are like mini boost or health spots where you can just recover. Or you could stock up on strictly like health resources. Or attain boost. Every time you pass Iroh's tea shop, you hear his voice saying, "Tea is good for the soul." Or many of his countless nuggets of wisdom. And there will literally be a list of different teas that Iroh likes. And each particular tea gives you a different boost. Or a health recovery like jasmine or ginseng. Or chamomile tea, lemon tea. Any of the variations. And they'll show a screen of you and him just sitting at the table drinking tea together. And then every time you leave, he always yells, "Have safe travels, young one." I really want y'all to really think for a second. I am coming up with all this on the spot. Like, this is literally money that Avatar, The Last Airbender creators, and all the Nickelodeon is just leaving on the table. And they're just settling with just making cheap sequels or butchering the material. But let me get back to what I was saying in regards to creating a character and also choosing your own mentor. Okay, so remember how I said your mentor will be chosen based off of if you're a bender or non-bender and the nation that you chose to start out with. So if you start out in the Earth Kingdom, and if you chose to be a non-bender, you would start off at Kyoshi Island, where Suki is your mentor. And as your level get higher and higher, your mentor will invite somebody over for co-training. And Suki will bring over Tali, where you'll be elevated for chi blocking. And if you pick non-bender for the Fire Nation, of course you'll be in the mainland. Your mentor, of course, will be Master Piandao. And once you get a high enough level, he will co-train you with Sokka, which will be absolutely fire. And if you pick Air Nomads, you will only be able to select the Eastern Air Temple, aka where Guru Patik is at. And of course, he will train you. And once you get to a high enough level, he will co-train you with Aang. And with War Tribe for non-benders, of course, we're going to say Sokka. And once you get to a high enough level, you will train with Sokka and his father Hakoda. And you'll be able to use clubs and boomerangs, of course. Oh, and also spears. Now, on the other hand, if you choose to be a bender, it's going to be a lot more complicated. First off, you can only choose 3 elements: fire, water, and earth. Because, this is set like right after Aang defeated Fire Lord, and last time I checked, Aang is still the last airbender. So if you chose to be an earthbender, you would start out in Amashu, and Bumi would be your mentor. But if you get to a high enough level with earthbending, they will send you out to do a difficult mission where you will meet Toph on the battlefield and she will invite you over to her metal bending school. And then boom, you can learn metal bending. And if you choose to be a firebender, you will start on the Fire Nation mainland, of course. And your mentor will be
Hello, Zuko here.
And once you get to a high enough level, you go on a super dangerous mission, of course. And on the battlefield, you meet Azula, and your talent basically pique her interest. And you have to fight/spar with her to learn lightning. And the thing is, you'll learn it while fighting her. For warbending, your mentor is going to be Master Paku. You get to a high enough level, you go on a super dangerous mission, of course. You meet Katara, where she teaches you about pulling water out of thin air and different new skills and how to learn bloodbending on your own. Also, throughout the game, depending on what element that you pick to bend, you can complete side missions to learn different forms of that particular element. Like, for instance, if you pick water bending, you can learn swap bending or bending with the vines. Or with earth bending, you can learn sand bending and learn near the sand benders. Or in regards to fire bending, you can learn how to use blue flames. And that will be the Sun Warriors that will teach you how to use the blue flames, which will be fire. And those side missions will be categorized as like field trip missions. And there will also be like higher level missions where you will have to train and learn under each particular master of each element. Like, for instance, learning under the koi fish, the badger mole, or the dragons. Also, when you get to a high enough level, you're able to whistle for your animal companion, or an animal companion that your mentor gives you. For air nomads, you will receive the Appa whistle, but it will call Momo. For the Fire Nation, you'll be able to call a hawk. War Tribe, you can call koi fish or elephant seals. For Earth, you can call the king's pet bear. And also throughout the game, you can just sprinkle Easter eggs here and there and some voice acting cameos here and there because we see the voice actors on social media all the time. They just chilling. We can get them some work. Like, you don't have to tell me twice in order to give Dante Bosco more money. That's a no hesitation over here.
Hello, Zuko here.
And on top of that, with how advanced video games are nowadays, especially how grand of the locations that they could make, like I said before, we have seen it done before with the likes of Hogwarts Legacy. How big that map was and how amazing the locations were, the music and everything just tied in great. And absolutely amazing open world. Heck, Avatar, just talk to Portkey and just tell them, here's the material, make that into that. Because I promise you, an open world Avatar game would change everything. It would do ridiculous numbers, I promise you. It's not hard to come up with a concept when the source material is right there.
Hello, Zuko here.
And if you like that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know what you think the next video should be based off of. Because like I say at the end of all my videos, I read every comment and I make sure that y'all are heard. Because I'm trying to get to 50K by the end of the year, I would love to have your support and hear more about your ideas. I hope you're able to apply these words in your everyday life. And Lily, thanks for watching. Oh, and a reminder, drink water.
Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love